spooky friends, and welcome to Dairyland Frights. I'm John, your host, and this is the paranormal podcast that covers everything spooky, creepy, and mysterious in the Midwest and beyond. And today, I'm so happy to have them on the show that they agreed to come on because I love their content. They have spooky content, and they're in one of my favorite states for spooky content, California. I want to introduce you to Karen and Antonet from Haunted Little Gems. Hey, guys, thank you for doing this.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is, like I said, we're going to have fun today. By the way, I've had, shout out, I've had Tammy from Hollyweird Paranormal on. I've had spooky little girl April on. I love my California people because you're way too expensive for us Midwest people, first of all. I always joke I've done business. I've done business here. I've been on business trips and like going out to lunch and spent like, I know this sounds silly. This ain't paranormal, but just bear with me. And gone out to lunch and spent like $40 on a sandwich and a salad. Like, what are we doing? Like, stop it. That's too funny. The other thing too is I accidentally, well, I had to make a choice one time. So I was on business and I was basically driving and I was like, wait a minute, isn't the Winchester Mystery House around here? And then like, as soon as I said it, like, bang, it popped up and I thought, go to my business meeting, go to the house, go to business meeting. Unfortunately, I went to my stupid business meeting and I should have went to the house.
Karen's bucket list that she wants to go to is the Winchester Mansion.
Yeah.
It looked so cool. And I was just, should I take a left or should I go straight? What should I do? Call the client. Hey, look, I'm at the Winchester Mystery House. Give me a break. Reschedule. Awesome.
Did you go in though?
No, I didn't. I just drove past. And you know, it's LA traffic. So like people were honking at me when I was slowing down. In colorful language, you know. So I was like, yeah, shut up, you idiot. Look, it's the Winchester Mystery House. So anyway, today, what I really want to talk about, we have a great topic, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But let me really find out about Haunted Little Gems. So tell me about, you know, what you guys do and some of your investigations you've done that I've seen that have been spooky.
Right. Well, we love the Patterson House. That's one of our favorite places that we get to go to. It's only an hour and 15 minutes from us. We're down in San Diego. So that's the most southern part of California. Mm-hmm. And it's really cheap to go there from 5 to like 1 in the morning. And it's only $100. So we've been there 3 times and it never disappoints. I grew up a psychic medium, so my whole family has abilities. So I just drag her along with me to these haunted places to test out my like gifts, you know what I mean, to advance them. And they really started getting really intense the day that my grandmother passed away. So right before someone passes away, I start to get this tingly feeling on my back, and it almost feels like when your foot falls asleep, and then when it starts to wake up, you get that tingly, staticky feeling. Well, it starts to go all the way down my back as someone's passing away. So that happened the night that my grandmother passed away, but she hadn't passed yet. But then I was like, what is that feeling? It's so weird because it was just getting more and more intense. Like someone was literally like on my back like this. Mm-hmm, and then about 3 hours later, I got a call that my grandmother had fallen.
No.
And so then when I drove to the house, I had walked down the hallway and I had grabbed her hand and they're like, everyone's here. My nickname's TT. It stands for Tony Teresa. So my name is Antonet. Like, so it's like the derivative for Anthony. Mm-hmm. And they're like, TT's here. So-and-so's here. So-and-so's here. It's okay to go now. And she just took a breath and left. So after that, I was 25. I'm 41 now. So this has been going on for, 15-ish years. And I started realizing every single time I started getting this feeling again, I'd get a call within days, not even days, like hours, that someone had passed. So now when I go to these haunted locations, I'll start to get the feeling on my back. And that's how I know that there's a spirit around. It's kind of crazy. And then I'll always follow with the EVP. And I can tell if it's a male, I can tell if it's a female. I can like almost see my eye, like whether or not like what they're wearing. And so I just drag her along with me to hold the camera.
I like to be spooked.
Yeah, she likes the adventure part. We both do, you know?
I thought she'd just throw Karen in the trunk or something like that. Let's go. We're going.
You know what I mean? I do. I force her to do things under her will all the time.
Karen.
Yeah. When she leaves me, it's going to be like Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, no, don't go.
Yeah.
No, we're going to be good. We're going to be good.
With me.
What'd you do?
I know, right?
And you'd probably feel really bad. You probably feel really bad if Karen gets possessed on one of your investigations or something, right? If something possesses her, now what are you going to do? Poor Karen. Come on.
I'll save her. I'll put holy water. Make it rain.
There we go. Let's get a bunch of cleansing stuff. There we go. Perfect. You're good. You're good.
I'll make sure. I'll never anywhere dangerous anyways.
Okay, good. Well, hey, Karen, there you go. That's a big win for you. You know, you're not going into a bad place. Like, don't worry. There's only one demon in this place. So we're all good. We're all good.
I really want to go to the one hotel. Oh, gosh, why can't I not think of it now? The Crescent.
Oh, yeah. Crescent, yeah.
That's the one that I really want to go to.
Yeah. How about the famous one? I think it's in LA. Yeah, the Cecil, right? Cecil Hotel?
No, that's on Skid Row. We're not going there.
Not going there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I've seen documentaries. That's so sad. Like, you know what I mean?
Night too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just unbelievable. But a lot of people still want to go and check it out and want to investigate it and everything like that, which, you know, it does have a rich history. I mean, that's no doubt in that.
Lisa Lamb, is that her name?
Correct.
Lisa Lamb.
Yep.
Yeah, like how we were saying, like how was she able to get herself in there and then put that thing over her?
Yeah.
Weird.
That's weird. It's weird. And, you know, serial killers have been there, like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. He lived there, dumped his bodies in the, basically the waste containers, you know, right near there and everything. Yeah, crazy. Just totally crazy stuff.
Ugh.
So, Antonet, I want to find out a little bit more about, I've spoken to many mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So some do it through smell, some do it through touch, some do it through just different means. So yours is mainly touch. Would I be correct in saying that? Or do you have other times where you can smell or something like that?
I can smell. I can, it's definitely touch, smell. I can hear. Sometimes I can see. I guess that part's a little bit more in my third eye, but there has been times where I can see an outline. It just looks like when heat rises. So it's a different texture versus the outside of like the energy, but it takes
aura
a shape
and stuff. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right, but it's mostly touch for sure.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah. So does that include, because some mediums can pick something up, like a doll, an object, and be like, this is bad energy. There's some real negative energy. Can you do something like that? Have you ever tried that?
I'm very empathic, so I can definitely walk into a room and I can read energies of humans. So I don't see why not. I wouldn't be able to read the energy of a doll. So I should try to put that to the test. I really want to go to an antique shop and check it.
Yeah.
And put it to the test.
If you need cursed dolls, I got 2 or 3 people that I could put you in touch with that would send you their cursed dolls that freak me out. Like, you know, no thank you, man. Cursed doll.
I'll wait till I'm not living with Karen anymore.
Yeah, right? Yeah, poor Karen's getting the doll's trying to choke me.
She's like, where did I find this girl?
Awesome. Yeah. Do you also, I know a lot of times you've been on investigations, which I've seen, but have you ever gone on an investigation? And this is a question for both of you, where you walked into a place and went, man, I don't know, maybe we should just stop because something's really heavy, right? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Has that ever happened?
Dude, the Hunter's Steakhouse in Oceanside when we went upstairs.
Yeah, you said you felt a lot.
Dude, it was weird. It was very heavy up there. I was like, it's weird how downstairs completely normal. You go upstairs where they actually caught the ghost that our waitress showed us the CCTV security camera footage of the ghost just like walking around the tables. And so because it was a Monday, the upstairs was closed down. So we asked the waitress, I'm like, will you let us go up there? You know, just so I can feel it out. We weren't allowed to put up any of our devices or anything like that. So we walked up there, and it was just so crazy how different the energy was from down here to the upstairs, just by a couple feet. That one was really crazy. And then when we first walked into the Patterson House the first time, now we're used to it, so we can walk in there. But every single time we walk in there, I still feel like it feels a little funky. But the first time we went in there, our devices all started going crazy. We're hearing footsteps. We're hearing noises of dragging, like things dragging upstairs. There's no electricity in the house. Zero electricity. He has literally a cable cord outside, and there's the only cable thing where there's electricity is in the guy's room, and it's from plugs from outside. So throughout the entire house, there's no electricity. And so I was hearing voices. I was smelling stinky feet. And then minutes later, there was a guy on an EVP that I caught, and he goes, "Pardon my feet." And I was like, there's some stink feet. Like if he was working all day long, took off his shoes, I'm like, ugh. I could smell it clear as day. And we were there for probably 2 hours, and it just happened out of nowhere, and it wasn't either one of us. Okay. So it was kind of crazy.
Well, that's good. Karen doesn't have stinky feet. There you go. This is a win.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, neither does Annette. Okay. Well, guys, I'm sorry, but I do. I'm sorry. So if that was me, I apologize. The Patterson House. I'm not familiar with that. Could you tell my spooky friends what some of the history behind that house is? Kind of curious.
So the Patterson House is in Winchester, California, which is what a coincidence. But it's basically, I think it's Riverside County or San Bernardino area. It was a family kind of similar to the Whaley House, where one person died of tuberculosis, another one died of appendicitis, and they're still trying to figure out exactly who are all the other ghosts in the house, but there's Mr. Patterson, and people are saying that he might have killed someone, but they're a very religious family, so you're not even allowed to drink or smoke around the property without the spirits getting mad. The wife, Maria, she's always in the kitchen, of course, because, 1800s. And then they had a daughter, Tilly, and Jesse, and a son, Lloyd. And so Lloyd was the baby, and he was the one that died of tuberculosis. And then I can't remember did Jesse die of appendicitis? Was it Jesse? Yeah, it was. And then Tilla, no, it was Jesse. Jesse's the one that is always with the groundskeeper guy. And remember, then he said he had wound up getting appendicitis as well, which was kind of weird. And his was, I guess, borderline septic, and he almost died. And so that's how and Tilla was one of the very first Wells Fargo agents.
Wow.
But it is a very old house, but it's a lot of fun to go to. But basically everyone died of natural causes, but they just still haunt the house. They haven't left. And there's other people that have died around the house. Like there was a drowning in the river, but people aren't finding the articles of that. But then there's a guy with the same name of a dude that I think was Noah that died in the war. But for some reason now he is also attached to the house. So I don't know. I think there might be some kind of portal that's bringing people to this house, Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to do some research on that. That sounds really interesting. Because there's a number of homes and mansions in California that are haunted, like the Hearst Castle, Winchester Mystery House, so on and so forth. That's really interesting to me, So let's talk about one of what you would say was your creepiest investigation, where you were like, wow, that was a lot. And tell us what happened.
I would say it was my house.
I would say
your house.
Old Town, Cosmopolitan, the lights.
Oh, we went to the Cosmopolitan recently, and the lights just out of nowhere started raving, like a rave light, like a ghost rave party, flickering
and
then
yeah.
Then it completely shut off, and it did not happen for the rest of the night. And we even tried to redo it multiple times to see if it would do it again, and it never did.
Yeah, interesting.
both haunted houses.
Yeah. Was it something you guys said or did you think caused that?
Yeah, we were doing.
Oh yeah, we were. What did we say? We said like, "Is there anyone here with us right now?" Show us a sign. Gave us rave lights, and they used to send dangos there too. Like,
Yeah, they were like known for having a lot of parties.
A lot of parties.
Okay. So did you guys get out your glow sticks and we're like, yeah?
No, I just ran under.
Yeah, Karen got.
Yeah, I mean that's really interesting. And it didn't scare you, or did it just kind of like just shock you guys that
It
happened?
just shocked at first.
Yeah. Okay. So it didn't feel nefarious, meaning like evil, or somebody was telling you to get out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
No, not. I think maybe they were trying to scare us out, but it didn't work.
Yeah, obviously it did.
We paid for this hotel room. We're gonna stay. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's not refundable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever had something follow you home on one of your investigations? A spirit?
No, but do you want to know something really weird that happened one time?
Yeah.
I was driving home from the gym and I was almost to my house, like less than a block away. And I had another friend with me. It wasn't Karen. This was years ago. And it was around midnight because it was 24-hour fitness. So we were coming home pretty late from the gym. And this woman was running down, like jogging down the hill as we're driving by her. And me and my friend look at each other and she was naked, but she was glowing. And my friend saw it too.
Okay.
It was the strangest thing I've ever experienced because there was no one else around her. She didn't look like she was scared. She just looked like she was running, but she was glowing, like a gold glow all around her. Like she was all gold. And my friend saw it too. So I'm not crazy. If she saw it too, then we'd both be on the same level of crazy.
Yeah.
It was weird. Never saw her again.
I'm guessing you didn't stop to see if she was real and say like, what's going on, lady? Okay.
She's running pretty fast. But
really?
A weird thing though that I will say, you know how they say about aliens? They say if someone gets abducted by aliens, the aliens will literally watch over the relatives of the person that they abducted. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So my grandmother got abducted by aliens. And she told the story. I just found this out. I didn't even know about this. And it was in Albany, New York. And it was her and her friend, and they're being chased by this sphere thing with bright lights. And I guess all of a sudden they just saw a flash of light. And then they don't remember anything besides for the fact that they're being chased by this giant sphere thing for 10 minutes down a very, like, a road where there is nothing. You know what I mean? There is no trees, no nothing. It's desolate. And so they were both freaking out. All of a sudden they just see this flash of light. And then they both wake up in their bed the next day. Well, years later, both my grandma and her friend both got diagnosed with likely it was they both got diagnosed with hepatitis, but it was a curable, I guess, strand of hepatitis. But they both got diagnosed with the exact same strand years later.
Wow.
But now there's been sightings of UFOs over this lake over here called Lake Murray that looks literally right at my parents' house. And then there's also been one in Wisconsin, and that's where my little brother goes to school. So I'm like, that's like, to me, I think I guess that would be something that followed us, right?
Yeah. That's really interesting because that is, I live in Wisconsin, by the way.
Oh, yeah. My little brother lives.
Nice. One of the things I was going to say, not to scare you, Annette, but they tend to, once someone's abducted in a family, they tend to stay within the family and abduct those people in a family. So, not to scare you, and that's coming from not me, that's coming from my research and talking to people who have been abducted and have told me, basically now, they said, well, my mom was, and then my aunt was, and then I was. And I'm like, wow, that's frightening. You know what I mean? Because now you're thinking, am I next? Is it going to be me? And what are they going to do? I'm like, yikes. That's scary.
Like, if you're going to probe me, make it small, thanks.
Yes, be nice about it. Come on.
Yeah. Can we make sure our implements are clean and sanitized?
Yes. Can we do that? Yeah, and maybe, get her a drink to relax or something. I don't know.
Wait,
Come
I
on,
think they might
aliens.
have
Let's be.
even, from what I remember the story, I think she even woke up in the middle of it or something. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. My mom told me, and then my dad was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But then his brother confirmed it. I was like, I can't believe grandma even told my mom.
Well, I guess it's a good thing to kind of get it off her chest and everything, to be
Right.
living with
It
that.
wasn't her mom, though. It was my dad's mom. So she's all like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always say this is there are thousands of stories out there with the paranormal being ghosts, spirits, whatever you want to say, abductions that people aren't saying because they're just scared. They're just
Right.
really, really scared. I've had a couple of paranormal therapists on my show who are therapists in their regular day job. You know what I mean? They're therapists. Like, if you have anxiety or whatever. But they now are getting into the paranormal realm where people come to them with stories like your grandmother and talk to them about it. And it's what they've told me, it's a very interesting science because not a lot of therapists do that, not because they don't want to, not because they don't believe in that. It's just kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say strange, that's not the right word. It's different, right? Because normally you're talking about, I have anxiety or I have fear of heights or something, right? But this is kind of the same thing. I've spoken to numerous people where they would see ghosts in their rooms and their parents would just go like, that's nothing, honey, just go to sleep. And then when they turn 18, oh, by the way, sweetie, that ghost you seen, that was real. We saw it and everything. I'm like, what? Like, why are you telling me now? But I get if you're a parent, you don't want to be telling your 6-year-old kid, oh, that demon in the corner you see, that's real. I mean, come on. I'm a little freaky, right? You don't want to be freaked out.
No, but you want it to kind of feel a little bit normal. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want your parent to gaslight you and then later on tell you, like, oh, yeah, by the way, it was real. Like, so you put me in a room with a spirit that made me feel horrible. What about safety? You know what I mean? Like, why can't I just fuck with you?
Yeah, exactly. So, did I hear you right, Antonet, that you lived in a haunted house or you had a house that was haunted? Okay.
So I grew up in 2 haunted houses. I'm still in a haunted house at my parents', but my grandparents, I grew up in their house and they had a very haunted house where I woke up in the middle of the night and I was sick. So this could have been the beginning of my mediumship abilities.
Sure.
But I woke up, day beds. So it's the couch, you push it in, you can pull out the bed. So I have a twin sister. So that could also be another thing since I'm a twin. So she was on the top part. I was on the bottom. And my Nana, it was the last room before the family room. And so my Nana would always leave the chandelier dimmed so me and my sister wouldn't get scared. So I'm sitting there and I'm just trying to drift off to sleep. But I can't remember. I mean, I was old. I was young. I'm old now, obviously. But so I was about 6-ish years old. And then all of a sudden I feel this thing coming down the hallway. And I could tell that it's approaching the door frame. The door is wide open. And all of a sudden I start seeing his side profile come in. And I'm seeing this clear as day. It's not like the heat rising. It's not energy. I see the full guy. And all of a sudden he's in full frame in the door. And it's a Native American man with the whole headdress, everything. And he literally looks like the mascot to the Aztecs, which is STSU.
Yeah.
And then he stops like straight in the door frame. And I can tell that he doesn't know where he is. So I don't think he's seen my family room. I think he's seen what was once there. Like he's just still in his dimension, but somehow gotten to ours. And it's, probably late at night or early in the morning. And he starts turning his head slowly to look into the room where I'm right there. My feet are right there. And that's the worst part of it. So I close my eyes because I'm thinking to myself, if I close my eyes, he can't see me because I'm 6.
Yeah.
And
You're 6, yeah.
so I'm looking at him through my eyelash and I can tell that half of his face is tore up. So I can see that it's all skeletal right here. I don't know if it was burned or skinned, but it was like that. And so I could see this part. It almost reminded me of Freddy Krueger on this side.
Yeah, sure.
And he's kind of looking diagonal, so not like necessarily right into the room, but it's diagonal to like right where I'm here, and he's looking this way. And I was petrified, and I was like, don't move, because if you make any single move, he's gonna see you. But also, I didn't get a horrifying feeling for him, but I was scared. This was like the first thing I ever saw when it came to supernatural, and I knew that he wasn't supposed to be in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, he just starts turning back forward, and then just starts making his way into the family room. And then I never saw him again.
Interesting. You probably don't remember, but was anything like a storm or something? I know that's asking a lot, but you know what I mean? It tends to be a lot of energy, that kind of, I don't know, makes ghosts appear, I don't know if that was any different, if you remember.
I would have remembered, because my long-term memory is really good. This is my short-term memory that sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it was a storm, because I do remember storms and earthquakes really well, because my parents would be like, you sleep through everything. And I was very much awake. So I would have remembered, because I love storms too. So I was like, I would have remembered the thunder and lightning, because it's really rare when to have it happen here,
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it was normal.
Wow.
Another thing that happened at that house, but it actually happened to my mom and my aunt. And my aunt is actually very psychic. She's no longer here with us anymore. She passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh.
But my mom is very religious. We grew up Catholic. And so my mom is very Catholic, but also very spiritual. And she was probably around 12. So my aunt was probably around 14. This aunt, she's a very interesting character. And that's what I'm just gonna leave it at that. But she said that she could hear my aunt groaning, and my mom was a reader, so she would just read books and books and books. So she's sitting there reading one of her books, and she could hear my aunt go, and my mom's like, what the heck? And so she goes out of the room, and she sees my aunt, and she's like in the bed, but her whole hips are elevated off the bed. So she's laying down, and everything, and something was like holding her hands like this, trying to lift her off the bed to the point where even her hips were off the bed. So no, not even the strongest person in the world can do that. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Right.
Like a 20-pack. You're not lifting your hips off the ground with your legs flat.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my mom could see the black figure though, trying to take my aunt. And so my aunt, my mom she's 12, and then runs in the room, because somehow she's fearless and nothing like me and Karen. And she starts praying over my aunt as she's trying to like push her down onto the bed. Sure. Even in that house, I used to have nightmares of these monks that would try to come and take me. And I told my mom was like, oh, you're just wrapped up in blankets. I'm like, no, Mom, I see the monks. They're literally trying to take me. They have no face. They're these hoods, but I can't see anything. And they come in like the monkeys from the Wizard of Oz, and they're trying to take me. And at this point, this was even before the Native American man. And so she goes, she put an angel pin on me. And I was like, no, I'm still having these nightmares.
Yeah.
And so one day she's like, just start saying Jesus loves me, and like, just start saying your Our Father, So in the nightmare, everyone's around the table, and then we're about to eat dinner. And I even remember that in my dream, we're having spaghetti and everyone is there. And then all of a sudden the monks start coming in, and they're starting to grab me again. And I'm saying, Mom, help me. And like, everyone's just saying, eating their spaghetti and like completely ignoring me.
Thanks.
And I'm like, help me. And then one of my aunts was the only one trying to save me, but she couldn't even get to me. So then all the time I said, Jesus loves me, like Jesus loves me. And then I remember what my mom said, to start saying the Our Father. When I started saying the Our Father, each one started disappearing, and I never had the dream again.
Wow. That's creepy as hell. Thank you for sharing that. And that will give me a nightmare tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. This all happened in this house, my grandparents.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you, I don't know if you did, but did you look into the history at all when you got a little older, just to be curious if maybe it's on Native American burial ground or somewhere?
Because it was the Aztecs that were originally here.
Yeah. Right.
In San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we used to find like a whole bunch of like different like bow and arrow when we'd go down into the canyons and do kid stuff. We'd find the old bow and arrow, like the ends of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Arrowhead.
definitely
Wow.
some stuff here for sure.
That's you've had an interesting childhood, to say the least.
Yeah, very entertaining.
Very entertaining, which is perfect for you because it fits in with what you want to do. So
right, exactly.
Let's get into our topic today because so much awesomeness I could talk to you, but we have a fun topic. And I haven't done a ghost town in quite a while, but I saw this one and I thought it was really super interesting. And the topic today is the Bodie Ghost Town. Let me ask you both. Does that interest you guys as far as wanting to go to? Have you looked it up and said like, maybe it's too far away or you know?
It is about 7 hours from us.
Okay.
We did look into it this morning, and it actually does. It's only $8 to go there, but yeah, right. I mean to check it out during the day. But I wonder how much it would be to investigate at night. I did see a short on YouTube of a guy, and it looked very suspenseful. But yeah, we definitely would check that out for sure.
Yeah. Well, let me give you a little history of it, and then tell you about the ghost, and then we can talk about it. So where it is in eastern Sierra Nevada, California. You can find a ghost town by the name of Bodie. The National Historical Landmark is located basically 7,395 feet or 22,054 miles on a high hill. So it has been visited by over 200,000 people each year. But don't even think about taking something from the Bodie home because the curse of the Bodie will haunt you down. So let's talk about the history of Bodie. In 1859, 4 men discovered gold at the eastern side of the Sierra foothills. They agreed to keep the place secret until the following spring, for other gold seekers were looking for gold at the other side of the hills. One of these men, W.S. Bodie, agreed to go back to their hometown, Monteville, to get supplies. Unfortunately, Bodie couldn't celebrate his find for long, for he was surprised by a blizzard and was killed on his way back. His friends decided to name the camp after him, but the painter misspelled Bodie, B-O-D-E-Y, as Bodie, B-O-D-I-E, and it was left that way. So I thought that's kind of funny. It's like, it's all misspelling. Like this poor guy dies in a blizzard, probably killed by a bear or something like that. I don't know what he's killed by. And then they misspelled his name. So maybe that has something to do with why it's all haunted. I don't know. So from a deserted piece of nothing became a booming town. In 1876, a freak accident happened that changed everything for Bodie. There was a huge mine cave-in, here we go, folks, that exposed a valuable body of gold. The Standard Consolidated Mining Company immediately turned the isolated mine camp into the fastest growing Wild Western town. They even built their own hydroelectric center in 1893, which was well ahead of its time. You'd say everything was perfect, but there was a dark side to Bodie as well. So obviously, we know there has a dark side to these towns that spring up from gold, finding gold. So Chinatown. Bodie even had its own Chinatown where hundreds of Chinese people worked and lived. They earned their money selling vegetables, working at the laundry services, logging, and selling wood. Wood was very important for the people in Bodie. It could get rather cold at the top of these hills, and firewood was essential. So that's really weird. And, again, I'll put some things up on Google and kind of give directions where this is. It's like, really? There's wood there? And there's like this booming town? It's not what you would think. It's not like really close to anything, major cities or whatever. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So there was a phrase that people use, which I thought was really weird, that they would do when they would go to Bodie. And they would say, "Goodbye, God, we are going to Bodie." And that's what people would say. And I don't know why people would say, "Goodbye, God, we are going to Bodie." Yeah. I have no idea. But more and more people came because gold was found. So more, were attracted to Bodie. Get this. At its peak, more than 10,000 people lived there. Now remember, this is the 1800s. This isn't like today, 10,000 people in a town. Whatever, it's a small town. But back then, that would be equivalent to 100,000 today, more than that. So imagine this small town and all these people coming in, right? Things aren't going to go so well, right? It's kind of interesting. And, with a lot of gold towns too, they spring up because of the gold and, well, greed, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing in this town. But the town had a questionable reputation. Duh. By 1880, Bodie had no less than 60 saloons, which is, think about this, 60 saloons. So that's bars. 60 bars? What? Like, that's nuts. I mean, even LA, even if you go to LA, maybe they have, it's LA, so they probably obviously have more than 60, but that's LA. You're talking millions of people live there. In this little town, 10,000 people, 60 saloons. That's crazy. So obviously at the saloons, which I don't know how they all stayed in business, murder, gambling, prostitution, stage robbing, okay, and gunfights, there you go, bang, bang, thank you, happened daily. Legend says a little girl prayed to God when she heard her family was moving to Bodie with the words, "Goodbye, God, we're going to Bodie." Okay. Bodie was more known for its lawlessness and rather than for its riches. So there's a funny detail. Some of Bodie's bad men and prostitutes didn't make the local cemetery. They were buried at Boot Hill Graveyard, which is also known as the Bodie Outcast Cemetery. So think about that. They would just throw them in these graves. That it is still there, by the way. This is part of the reason it makes it hard. So if you're investigating, I guess you'd have to ask where it is because it's time, you know what I mean? Desert and everything like that. But it's these unmarked graves for the most part where they just took all these prostitutes and basically outlaws and just threw them in the grave. Now, what can go wrong, right, ladies? What can go wrong with a bunch of prostitutes and gamblers and criminals in one place and nobody cares about you, right? What could go wrong? So there's like I said, a Boot Hill Graveyard in Arizona as well. That one's a little more famous because that one has a little more famous outlaws. This one, again, good luck to know who's in there. You would have to exhume the bodies and no thank you. So why did Bodie, it sounds great, right? You got money, you got 60 saloons, you got prostitution, you got everything you want, right? Well, unfortunately, the downfall of Bodie happened. And Bodie's period of glory was short, lasting from 1879 until 1882, so about 3 years. After that, decline was slow, but it was there apart from the gunfights and murders. The harsh conditions also took a lot of lives. During the savage winter of 1878 to 1879, hundreds were killed of exposure and disease. Other lives were obviously lost in mining accidents. People got killed by falling timber, explosions of powder magazines, and other accidents. Now, let me back up here. In the 1800s, you didn't really maybe live to in your 30s, you know what I mean? Because we're all past that, I believe. So think about that. You could see Karen tomorrow and be like, "Hey, Karen, how you doing?" And then Karen is gone because she got blown up by a powder or hit by a log or something. Isn't that scary? We were just friends. What happened to Karen? Sorry to pick on you, Karen. So I think that's really interesting. That's why people live their lives because they didn't know they were going to be here tomorrow, right? You just might not wake up and you get killed in the street for, I don't know, money or just someone's drunk and they shoot you. So that to me is always scary. So a disastrous fire struck. So again, if it wasn't so the murders and the disease and the fires, now, come on, there's a lot going on here. A disastrous fire struck in 1892. The abandonment of the Bodie Railway in 1917 and another much larger fire in 1932, which destroyed half of the town, led to the end of Bodie. So I'm going to stop right here. Do you think, I'm asking for both of you, do you think this town is cursed because they named it after a guy that died? Or do you just think this is normal? This is what happened to gold rush towns. What do you? I'm just curious what you both think.
It's because the name was misspelled.
You think so? I think it's that for sure. Like he's pissed and
Yeah.
he's like, "Don't be so illiterate." But I think too. I mean, just with the energy of all the fun stuff that was going on as well, it's a lot of energy, you know.
Yeah. That's my thinking too. I think there was, and you'll learn about this too. This is really fascinating when we get to it. I think that too, because you've probably been at places where you've been on maybe at a tour, or maybe you've seen something or heard something or read something where people have said, well, the reason it's cursed is because they neglected this person and now that person cursed the town, so, or a house or object, whatever it might be. So in 1962, after years of neglect, Bodie became a state historical park, which you mentioned, Annette, that you can go there. That is very true. You can go there, and you'll see some of the pictures, and it's pretty neat that, you know, some of this stuff has stayed around, like certain cars, certain buildings that have, basically ran the test of time and is still there. So, and 2 years later, they even got a status of California Historical Park. So that's good. So Bodie is now in the state of arrested decay, which means the remaining 168 buildings are protected but not restored. Besides the remaining structures, there's also a cemetery, the Bodie Cemetery, where about 150 people are buried. So interesting, interesting part. So let's talk. Well, this is why we're here, right, folks? The ghost of Bodie. So here you go. Maybe if you guys decide to investigate this, I'd love to have you back on and tell me what you find. So the ghost of Bodie, a town where so much has happened, is likely haunted, and it is, obviously, the J.S. Kane House. J.S. Kane House, once the house of a prominent banker and businessman, is haunted by a Chinese woman, probably a maid. The heavyset woman likes to appear to children. So you guys will have to grab your kid or grab a kid. Hey, come here, kid. Where are we going?
Okay. Like one of those stand-up big, like American Doll things.
Yeah, there you go. So it likes to appear to children who visit one of the bedrooms on the second floor. Or maybe one of you guys can get on your knees and go like, I'm just a kid. And, maybe you
Well, that's like I dress up like the investigation to try to like trigger stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll just dress up like a kid. I'll put pigtails.
Yeah. Get a big lollipop. Yeah, get a big lollipop and be like, la, 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 la. Yeah, there you go.
I have the mentality of a 5-year-old in the style of one, too. So it should be
So there you go. Perfect. We got it. So basically what someone has seen, a ranger's wife had an encounter with her. So not a child. So maybe you guys don't have to dress up, but if you want to, go ahead. Whatever makes you happy. She went to bed early, and when she was just in bed, she felt a heavy presence on top of her. Okay. She panicked because she almost suffocated under the force, and she started fighting the presence violently, causing her to fall to the floor. So, okay, maybe that's not so good. So it looks like she got in a fight with the Chinese woman trying to suffocate her.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then another gentleman, Gary Walter, was in the same bedroom when suddenly the door opened. He immediately felt a presence in the room and a suffocating feeling. So, Antonet, you are a medium. Would you like to have that feeling? I'm guessing not to feel suffocated. Or have you before?
No, she would crush me.
Yeah.
I was like, sumo.
Yeah, I don't know why they would. Yeah. But that's weird that they tried to do that. I don't know why she would do that. Anyway.
I almost would want to try to put it to the test.
Yeah, I guess lay down on the bed and Karen can be there or whoever, and you guys can.
She's my emotional support human.
There we go. Well, you're going to need it. You're going to need it if some Chinese woman just body slams her or something. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I'll just have.
So that's that house. So the DeChambeau house is also haunted by a lady ghost who likes peeking out the upstairs window. Okay, so that's really with that house. I don't know if that's really scary. Do you find that scary? Like be walking past the house and a lady peeking out the window? I don't know.
don't mind
That is
that
scary.
as long as it's not like all of a sudden she's right in front of me, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Running naked or something. That's pretty weird. Yeah. That'd be
You're just like, what
weird.
the-
Then there's the Mendocini house, and it is said to be haunted by a couple of children. Their laughter can even be heard outside the house. So have you on any of your investigations heard children's laughter? Really?
Yeah.
And
I
what
feel like that's
what
always like the
happened?
main like EVPs that we'll catch too. But
Really?
when I was walking up the stairs to the Patterson house, I heard something, but it sounded like multiple people saying it at once, and I flew down the stairs. She didn't hear it, I heard it, and I caught it all on camera too. And there's one of the short version of it is I have a clip of it somewhere in our TikTok and Instagram of the la 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 la, or it's like hee hee hee. We always catch those. Like a little
Yeah. I was just that's always freaking me out. You know, that's freaky to hear those sounds and everything. Because it's not that I wouldn't say I would be scared of it.
Mhm.
I am a big chicken, by the way. I totally admit that. I'm going to be totally upfront with you ladies. I'm a big chicken.
I call her Scarin.
Yeah, well, Scarin and Jaren, whatever you want to call me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So the next one is the Angel of Bodie. Now, this one's nice. Okay, this is finally a nice one. The Bodie Cemetery is haunted by a sweet little ghost, Evelyn. Aw. She's the 3-year-old daughter of Albert and Fanny Myers. By the way, every time I hear Fanny, I laugh. I'm a child.
I know.
I'm sorry. Like being called Fanny, I'm sorry. If I don't know. Sorry, I'm a child. Fanny Myers. Hey, Fanny. Sorry.
The big Fanny.
Yeah,
Fanny
there's
was-
not many women named Fanny anymore. There's a reason for that.
No. What's the long version of Fanny anyways? Francesca?
Sure.
What would be the long version of it?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's better than Fanny.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Seriously.
So, unfortunately, she was accidentally killed in 1897, Evelyn was killed. She was hit in the head with a miner's pick. Okay, they didn't find, I don't know if this was murder or she was just hanging out with a bunch of miners and they hit her with a pick. I have to do research on this. But anyway, her grave is marked with a child angel, and Evelyn is now known as the Angel of Bodie. Her giggles are often heard in the cemetery. Also, through my research, if you are, like you ladies, are doing investigation, she likes to tug on you like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, hey, see, so if you're... Okay. And what happened? Something tugged on your leg? A child tugged on your leg? Or
No, I said now we have to go.
Well, now we have to go. Oh, I thought you said that.
Now we have to go. Yeah.
So you hear a little giggles, and then you'll feel like a little tug. I don't know if for men, but for women, they claim that it's like a little kid being like, "Hey, mommy," kind of attitude. But here we go. There's a curse. Always a curse. Beware of the curse of Bodie. The residents of Bodie were fiercely possessive and protective of their belongings in life, but that didn't change in death. The long dead ghosts want all what they have left behind and intact. Every item, big or small, has been cursed with a string of misfortune and bad luck. Tragedy will keep hold of the taker until the item is returned to Bodie. Ever since Bodie is open to the public, letters, mainly handwritten and anonymous, have been sent to the park. Along with the letters, items such as nails, bottles, rocks are sent back. The sender says, basically in their letter, to be very, very, very sorry for stealing the item. The curse still exists, and people claim to have been in car accidents. They've lost their jobs, and even becoming deathly ill for taking an object. So, Be warned. If you visit, keep your hands to yourself. And besides, all things, big and small, are part of California's heritage. So taking something is stealing and thus against the law. So this is very true. if you go on Reddit and some other places, I didn't really bring this up, but you can if you'd like. People have taken like a nail, right? Like, oh, I'm going to take this nail, or a piece of wood, or a rock, or some people have taken like a piece of cloth from a curtain or something. And excuse me, some of them were driving back, they got in a car accident immediately. And now you can say coincidence, sure. Other people have said they woke up the next morning and it was like they couldn't breathe. Like they had to call the emergency, had to get an ambulance. It was like they were having a stroke or something. And other people have said they've seen shadows. They've seen like apparitions, and all of them are evil, like deathly evil. And so, like you said, like the article said, excuse me, they will send all this stuff back. So there's package upon packages, and these park rangers have to go through, and they have to take it back, which I don't know how they know this. They have to take it back to the original place it was found. So they have to ask the people where they found it. So if they took a nail out of a cabin, which cabin? Like they can't just like chuck it. You know what I mean? They can't just like chuck it. They have to go to the right place, to the right cabin, or the curse still happens. So I'm like, that's terrible. So don't, please, all my spooky friends in California and other places who are going to go visit this place, don't touch anything. Don't grab anything. Okay? Because this sounds very, very real. And one thing I forgot to mention, and I'm sorry, ladies, this is probably going to not be nice to say, but I have to say it because I want to warn you both. If you go in some of the saloons, unfortunately, there have been women said they have been touched inappropriately. So just be careful. So I'm hoping you're both
before by a ghost. That's kind of funny.
Okay, there we go.
All places. Yeah, it was really weird.
What did you say? What was your reaction? Like, did you say stop?
No, I was on the elliptical, and it's weird. So it was actually where my gym was. It was 24 Fitness, but it's where my dad's old office used to be. His boss, when he worked at this office, was a perv. And so all of a sudden, I kind of like, I see this thing. I thought it was someone just wearing all white, tying their shoe. And so when I looked, I was like, oh, why does that person look weird? I can almost like kind of see through them, but it looked like they're just tying their shoe. And then when I looked forward, all of a sudden it was like a pinch right on my butt. Like someone like literally like pinched my butt. I went, ah. And then when I looked behind me, there was nobody there.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, it was the perverted old boss.
Yeah, that's not good. Hey, knock it off.
Oh, I know, right? Like you're alive, I would have freaking whipped you.
That's why I have the utmost respect for my investigators, paranormal investigators, especially female investigators, because I've had them tell me from other female investigators they've had their hair pulled, they've had their butt grabbed, they've had people like a ghost try to kiss them, they've had just EVPs calling them not nice names.
Oh, I got called a whore.
Yeah. Or a bitch. Excuse me.
For wearing a blonde wig.
What? No, I'm missing something. I got an inside joke. What's the inside joke? I want to hear it.
He was wearing a blonde wig one time.
Yeah, at the Patterson House, because one of the ghosts likes blonde wigs. And then so we're doing the spirit box, and it goes, whore. And I was like, did it just call me a whore? I think it's 1800s. Like, you think like these blonde people were women of the night,
Yeah. Right. Wow. Jeez. Come on, ghost, get in the 21st century.
I was like, no.
So I have to ask. I always have to ask after these topics. Do you think it's haunted? Do you think it's cursed, and why?
Well, I think it's cursed because of the name spelling badly, and because people steal so many things from it and then return it. That has to leave some kind of energy, right?
Yeah. Karen, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely could be haunted because like just so many like deaths at that time and just like negativity and hardship at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of
and 60 saloons. Yeah, and 60 saloons. I mean, that's a lot. That's a fun night out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's California. Los Angeles on a freaking Wednesday.
Yeah, right?
That's why we don't go to Los Angeles. We stay here in San Diego.
Yeah, and I love San Diego. I was just in San Diego a couple years ago. A couple years ago on business. So I love San Diego. It's beautiful, great place. I'm sorry, this isn't paranormal, but I had the best fish tacos in San Diego. I love my fish tacos. I know they're not haunted or anything. I'm sorry, folks, but I had to bring that up. I was like, so I was at the Hard Rock Hotel downtown, right next to the convention center, if you guys know that area. And then they have like that, I don't know what you call it, but there's a ton of restaurants there, and that right behind the Hard Rock Hotel and stuff. There's Mexican cantina, and I can't think of the name, unfortunately. But I went to it, and I was like, literally, like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like,
we
have perfected it.
Here in Sandy.
Oh my God. I'm just going to go back for that. If I ever visit, I'll invite you ladies. We'll go out for fish tacos and have a great time. Have a great time.
We know so many good spots too, like Oscars and Pacific Beach is one of my favorite because you can get a surf and turf. So it's meat with the shrimp. It's meat with the fish. I like any kind of fish tacos with
carne asada fries or California burrito. Those are
I'm so hungry. Gosh, now I gotta
it's like a burrito that sits to your forearm.
Yeah, it's a haunted burrito. I can use that as a travel expense. Haunted. Excellent. So, ladies, you're amazing. I loved your stories and everything. This hour went way too fast. I had a blast. So tell my spooky friends where they can find you. What are you guys doing as far as investigations or what's kind of going on, with both of you or with the group?
You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Haunted Little Gems. And our next investigation, we actually are going to go up to San Juan Capistrano to the Mission. So I'm really excited for that. Really, the Weston's haunted there too. So I actually like to I go into Yelp or just Google and I go to hotels and I look up their reviews and I just search reviews haunted, like to see if people actually wrote haunted reviews. So we kind of want to start a little thing with that as well.
Sure.
Kind of find the exact room that the people stayed in the reviews to see if we can experience anything or what I feel intuitively as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds awesome. By the way, I love your shirt. That's awesome. Do you guys have merch? Do you guys have merch at all that you want to talk about?
Almost there. This is like a little test run one, but yes, we eventually will have some cute merch coming up. And we have another girl, Sophia, but she kind of comes on every once in a while.
Okay. Hey, that's no problem. I'll have to remember that. Get myself some merch. So
yeah, absolutely.
Wear a shirt. Awesome.
Right?
Well, thank you.
You'll be the first on the list.
Thank you. Well, thank you again so much. And, like I said, this was a beautiful time. I had a blast. I loved it. You guys are welcome back anytime, to maybe catch up on some investigations, maybe near the spooky time in October. Maybe I can have you ladies back on. Karen, thank you for coming on camera. And thank you for doing that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
It is just so much fun. So, again, make sure you give them some love. Go to Haunted Little Gems. All the links will be in my show notes. So, like I said, give them some love. By the way, what I always tell my spooky friends, I have California is one of my most downloaded episodes. So, hey, maybe you reach out to Annette and Karen and to their website if that's okay with you ladies and suggest something. Maybe there's something you guys have that you want to suggest. Maybe they could check out or at least get to know and decide if they want to do an investigation there.
We want to go to Virginia City, so if anyone wants to meet up there, let us know.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and I can't say enough. This was so awesome. So always stay spooky. Thanks, Karen and Annette. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.